Hi, Jeans. Can you hear me? Hi. Hi, Jeans.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm okay, but no, no, I'm not feeling well. I'm sick anyway.
Oh, okay. What's the problem?
Mm. It's malaria.
Which part of
So,
Zambia are you in? Which has malaria?
I stay in Ichoma.
Okay.
Mm.
Are you on
So,
medication?
yes, I'm on Quietem now.
Okay, no, that's good. At least you know you'll be better.
Mm. There was a question and answer session today, or any session.
No. This is when we're starting. So every time the question and answer is at 18.
Oh, yeah. So me, I thought it's 17 to 18.
Oh, no, it's
So I'm
we
even,
haven't
yeah.
started.
Oh, okay, okay. Then I'm on time.
So what do you
And
sell?
I sell stationery and the IT equipment. And my laptops, my printers, then school books, reams of paper, all sorts of stationery, manila, and so on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you
So
taking the business?
in Choma and Kalomo, though market base is much in Kalomo, I sell to schools, even chalk, school books, reams of paper, all sort of stationery that the schools need. I have. And some computers, some printers, and so on.
Okay, I was asking where are you taking your business? Remember the discussion from yesterday?
Yes, though. Okay, I'm a busy man. At work, they busy us very much. Like yesterday, I
Mm,
knocked off late. I almost missed, so I joined late.
okay.
Mm,
So
but
I,
I
I,
just want.
I
Mm,
shared the the discussion audio in the
mm,
group.
mm.
The,
Am I in the group?
the Telegram. We're using just Telegram.
That Telegram group, I think I'm not there.
Really?
I have the Telegram app, but
Uh-huh.
I am not there.
Okay. Let me share the link with you right now.
Okay. Mm,
Because in the group I shared the recording. So we'll be recording every time we chat because there's always
mm,
going to be someone who needs to catch up later on the
mm,
discussions. Yes. Um. What about the lessons? Have you been able to take a look at the lessons?
Yes, I saw the lessons where we studied affiliate marketing.
No, no, not that
Mm,
one.
mm.
Let me double
They are
check.
also on Telegram.
No. So they are on the app. Oh, you
Mm,
are you are
mm.
you are behind. Let me just double check your. Let me see, which email address are you using?
Jinsi Munene.
Jeans Munene. Okay, let me check if your account has got the right. That affiliate one is it's an old video.
Oh,
Let me just check. Jeans. So actually, one of the first things we discussed yesterday was what is the
mm,
right time what is the right time to listen to these lessons before you even join, before we
oh,
come for the discussion. The reason we decided to start with that,
mm,
uh yeah, no, you don't have this course. Let me add it right now.
mm.
The reason we decided to start with that was to make sure people are able to actually listen to the lessons before we
Yes,
join.
yes.
So when you
Oh,
log into the app,
mm.
it sounds like you already have your login details. So you have to check.
Yes, I have.
You have to check digital entrepreneurship program. I feel like deleting the others from your.
My,
Anyway,
my, my, I
from
leave
your
it.
from your account, because I feel they are confusing. No, but it's the only one written
Oh,
digital entrepreneurship program. You'll be able to see it.
mm,
Yes. So please go through those lessons. And I was trying to upload the
mm,
recording from yesterday. But the formats were not. It was resisting the formats. But I've added
mm.
you. I've sent you the link to the.
Upload it. You are to Telegram. Mm.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
sent.
I'll join now. I'll join now.
Okay, no
I'm very
problem.
good at the learning, so on my own, more especially if the lessons are already uploaded. So I have
Eh?
that much experience. Most of my studies I've been doing self-study because I'm a busy man. I find the time sometimes when at night or so I wake up, I'll study. As long as the
Oh,
study materials they are on my account.
okay. No, that is. I'm really happy to hear that, because that's the way we've structured it. Because I think what
Mm,
used to happen in the other courses, I would teach live like this. Then, if someone has missed the lesson, then it's a problem. So the main
mm,
lessons are actually pre-recorded. They are there on the portal. So when we meet like this, what we are doing is doing revisions. And
revision, yeah.
if there are any questions, we look at the questions that have been asked.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Then I'll be on the course now.
Okay, that's fine.
I can
Okay,
see people are coming
okay.
now.
Let's see. Give maybe a minute or two to see who else is joining. Then we can start the revisions for today.
Mm,
Yeah. So that
okay.
question I was asking, where are you taking your business? It was based on the lesson from yesterday. So I think the discussion is premature. The question is premature since you didn't manage to go through the lesson.
I didn't go through the rest one. I think I have time to go through.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Okay. Oh, let me see the link. I joined Telegram.
Okay, but this call we are having it on Google Meet, so it's fine. You can have a look at the Telegram one later, unless it doesn't disturb this connection. So that's
I doubt if you do this. There's another app.
oh yeah, yeah. These advanced phones are able to. I remember one of
Yeah.
my earliest phones; they were not able to do that. The smartphones in
Uh,
the a long time ago. Like if
mm,
you log into one app, the other one would
then you
close.
lose. Oh, this one, yeah, is multitasking. It can go inside.
Okay. Good evening, Tibe. Good evening, Inonge. Good evening, Mr. Evans.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. So, Mr. Evans, you had mentioned where do we take questions? Did you have questions? I don't know. I didn't check if you had posted any questions. Did you post in the group?
No, I didn't. I was just thinking
Uh huh.
because you had said we must be posting these questions in advance. So I didn't know where to post, whether in the WhatsApp or Telegram.
Okay, in Telegram, because Telegram is easier to track in case somebody joins later. WhatsApp is a bit problematic to organize. At
Okay.
least with Telegram,
Well,
you can have that. There are those categories at the top, the type of files you shared. Someone, if they join late, they can still catch up. So Telegram is just more coordinated, to be honest.
okay, no problem. The only thing I wanted to ask, the Facebook group, you speak about it in the lesson, but
Yeah,
I tried to find it and I can't like find it. Is it possible that maybe later you can send me a link?
actually, I think that was a mistake in the slides. So before, when creating the slides the first time, I thought we'd use
Yes.
a Facebook group, but there's something that I was talking to my coach. She said, "Do you know that Telegram? A lot of people have been losing Facebook groups. I don't know if you've ever heard of this happening. So there's a lady that we both like talking about. She's in Australia.
Yes.
She runs a program on Facebook, and she had 6,000 members, like a paid up group. The Facebook group just disappeared. And that has
Oh,
happened before. So she told me, you really need to be careful with Facebook because they've got all these policies and all these regulations. Sometimes even a group can find itself being deleted, just like Facebook accounts, Facebook advertising accounts. They are so prone to being in jail. We call it FB jail. That
oh
happens to
yes.
groups as well.
Okay, no problem. Just
Yeah.
that I
So
was looking for it because it was mentioned in the slide, but it's fine.
yeah, no, my apologies. We need to edit that out.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Okay, I think we can get started. Good evening, everyone. So as usual, I'll start with a summary. There were two videos for day 2. There was your million and also your ecosystem of products. So I'm going to start with your million. So the lesson behind your million is that you need to think about, I don't know what your targets are, but using 1 million is easy just for planning purposes. Oh, someone has a hand up. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's me. My apologies. I couldn't find those two videos that you've mentioned on my on my profile.
The ones I'm mentioning right now?
Yes, all I had is the three that you had uploaded yesterday.
Oh, okay. I'll have to double check because anybody else have that problem? Did you find a video called Your Million and another one called Ecosystem of Products? So this means no one else tried to. We have to go through then. We have to double check for everyone. Madam Viola?
I received mine, but
Okay.
it was difficult to open using a phone, so I had to use the laptop.
Have you downloaded the mobile app
Yeah,
for
yes, I did.
the Easy Course app, not Telegram, the Easy Course app, the
Yes,
portal
it is
we're
the
using?
because yes,
Oh,
that's the
okay.
one I'm actually using. Yes,
So it was not opening or the volume was not audible.
it was actually failing to download, but when I used the laptop, everything was okay. Yeah.
Okay, okay. We'll send a report to the technical team. Emilia, you had your hand up. You wanted to answer about whether you have the videos or not. Okay, Tibe, you can go ahead.
Okay, so for me, I managed to view the videos, both the ecosystem and your million,
Okay.
except for the day 1 lifestyle calculators were failing to download.
For the Excel sheets.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have to double check that. Though they're also available in the Telegram group, but they should be downloadable on the portal as well. We'll check the settings. I'm taking note.
All right.
Okay, so let me do a summary of your million. So the idea of your million is if you are planning to make either your first or your next million, because some have already hit their first million, others are still beginning and trying to make their next million, their first million. So the video lesson started like this. A lot of people like asking what business can they do which can make them a lot of money. But the truth is there's no answer to this question. I shared a lesson from one of my mentors who said you can become a millionaire selling popcorns. Too many people are obsessed with what kind of business they should be doing that will help them to get to a million. But the truth is any kind of business can help you. Then I shared an experience of when I went to a certain factory this was actually in Dola. It was a plastic making factory. When I went to the plastic making factory, I asked the person who we went to see. We were collecting some information. So when I was asking him, I asked because the plastics that they sell are really, really cheap plastics. You know those transparent plastics they use at the market to pack things like tomato, vegetables, and stuff like that. So I asked him, so how many do you pack? So how many do you make? He said, we make per order. Sometimes we can make even as many as 3 million plastics. So that's when the lesson also came back to say, oh, this is what he meant. Like anything, even something as simple as plastics can make you a million. Because I looked at the factory, it wasn't a small place; it was quite a big place with a lot of machinery and a lot of workers, and you could tell this company is obviously already hit their million already. So the point was that any type of business can help you to get to a million. Then I shared the rule of tens by Steve Harvey. So Steve Harvey has got this lesson about a rule of tens. Whenever people ask him, how can I become a millionaire? He shares this formula called the rule of tens, where he says that the only thing you need to do when you are starting at zero, you have nothing. You need to find something that will help you to make $10. Then the rule of tens is like this. Whatever you've done to make the first $10, do it 10 more times to make your first 100. Whatever you've done to make that first 100, do it 10 more times. Just like that, 10 more times, you keep on adding 10 by doing the same thing 10 more times. Now, the truth is, as you keep on growing to the next, you keep on adding the next 0 and another 0 and another 0 like that, some certain things need to change. The way you do things need to change. You might need to hire some people. You might need to get additional help. You might need to expand your equipment and things like that. But he said once you've made your first 10, your first 100, your first 1,000, you've got the working formula. So I was also saying sometimes someone will come to me and say, I've got 50,000. What business should I start? So I asked them, what did you do to make that 50,000? Because it looks like you've already found the working formula. Why do you need to look for something else? Sometimes there's this misconception that the business that will bring a million is different from the one that brought the initial money. But the rule of 10 says the same thing you've done because you've already found a way to make money. You just ask yourself, what do you need to do the same thing 10 more times so that you get to your million? Then there's the idea of, are you going to go the fast route or are you going to go the slow route? Because the truth is, if you make a certain amount, even something like 10,000, over a long, long period of time, you are frugal, you keep on saving consistently, you can eventually get to a million. In fact, there's a certain book called The Millionaire Next Door. It follows the slow method. But there's another one called Millionaire Fast Lane. So that's a book recommendation. Because I believe that everyone who's in this class, I don't think there's anyone who's so much into the slow lane. Entrepreneurs are not in the slow lane. Most people, when they start entrepreneurship, they want to get to their next financial goal, not in the slow way, but in a faster way. So the Millionaire Fast Lane, that book by MJ DiMago, talks about scalability. Certain businesses can scale faster than others. So you need to look at the business that you have. Is this the one that can easily get to the next level? Okay. So now let me look at some examples that I shared in that video. So the first one was my own business. When I started learning about this, I was running an agency, managing social media pages for clients. So we had already reached our first 100,000 per month in terms of revenue. We had a team we had about eight people. We had about let me see, how many contracts were those? I think about seven or eight contracts. So when I asked myself, can we do this 10 more times so that we can get to 1 million? And the truth is, the honest answer I had is that I didn't want to, because I looked at the business was already maxed out, the profitability wasn't very good. I looked at what if we could get bigger deals? What is the process of getting bigger deals in that space? So in that space, for you to get bigger deals, you need certain types of alliances. I don't want to use the word connections. You need alliances with international media companies. So if you can land a really, really big company, what most of these really big companies, their decision makers are based at regional offices, either in Kenya or in South Africa. Most of them don't have their regional head office here. We had one big company which had a regional head office here, but most of the others were international. For you to get those and be able to get really profitable deals, the networks that were required to build, I realized I honestly don't want to do that. Then, because it was a service-based business, and this is very important for people who are in consultants and services, if you're going to get to a certain number in terms of revenue faster, what do you need to do? What do you need to change? You'll find that if you're service-based, you need to grow your manpower. So like even with the agency, I realized that if we take on more clients, I would have to hire more people, would have to be efficient with the human resource department, would have to be efficient at training them. So I had to think about all this process because of the idea of 10 more times. What do you need to do to get to your next, to add as another zero to your current income? So I also gave an example of a certain gentleman who is into financial consulting. He was in business. He's been in business for a very long time. When he engaged me, he was planning to retire. So we had this discussion actually to say, what does he need to do to get to like the next level? So he actually told me to say, in our business, you have to hire people. For you to get to your next level, you have to keep on hiring and training people, but there's always a risk. They can easily quit and they can easily go somewhere else. They can easily go and find another job, or they can go and start their own business. So even as you are hiring, you have to take that into consideration. So different businesses will need different things for them to get to the next level. So for other businesses, what they've done, instead of going with the manpower route, they turn their product into some kind of software. So then that software also becomes a source of income. In that way, they are expanding into SaaS, software as a service. So it's just a thinking process, thinking about your own business and asking yourself, for my particular business, what do I need to do? So I gave another example of, because we have some bakers here. If you are a baker, you make scones, right? What do you need to do to be able to make 1 million through baking? If let's say one cupcake is costing $10 and you need to sell $100,000, what do you need to do? Maybe you need to have industrial baking machines. Then maybe you need to start supplying supermarkets, things like that. So depending on where you are, maybe you have to now start fundraising for that industrial equipment, the place where you're going to put the industrial equipment. So the whole idea of your million is the thinking process of 10 more times. How can I do this same thing 10 more times? Okay, so I'll pause here and ask, how did you find the lesson of the 10 more times, and how do you think you can apply it in your business? Any takers? Okay, Mr. Evans, go ahead.
So for me, the issue of growing manpower is an eye opener, and also software as a service.
Okay. Do you have the systems? Because I think I remember you had mentioned you would want to, in setting your GPS, would want to spend less time traveling and being able to be with family. So if you're going to be hiring, do you have the systems to hire, train, on board, and all that without always being there?
I have a system which is not mine, but most of the internal systems that I put in place eventually broke down. So I need to rebuild those.
All
And
right.
also, I like the aspect of fundraising, you know.
Say again.
I like the aspect you mentioned of fundraising as well to pump in money into your project.
Oh, okay, okay. Or okay. What do others think? What would it take for your business to get to your next million? What do you need to do? Yvonne, is the concept clear? What do you think you need to do to get to your next million?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I think for me, it's it's finding a niche market.
Okay.
Yeah, it's finding a niche market, and interesting that you've mentioned the SARS.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a YouTube video a couple of days ago, and they were talking about finding your niche market, and
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the aspects that they talked about the SARS as well. So I think for me, it's sitting down and thinking through and identifying a niche market. And I picked up on the point of human resource, where you talked about there's a possibility that you have to hire people, that you have to train, and then after that, they might just leave. Um, so there's also that aspect as well. Am I willing to do all this by myself? If I can't do everything by myself, I'll have to think about hiring people. And what kind of people am I thinking about? Is it interns? Things like that. So yeah, it's I think it's a lot of thinking through that I need to do.
Okay. Anybody else have a thought on what you need to do to get to your million? Or for those who are beginners, maybe the million sounds too high. Those who are beginners, what do you need to do to get to your first maybe 10,000? Or how many clients? Maybe we put it that way. How many clients would you need? Have you made your first Tibe? Have you made your first client in your current business, your new business?
Yes, I have, but it has not started paying yet.
Okay.
As a beginner, like you said, I think there are trust issues. They are trying to see if I'll be able to deliver.
Okay.
So yes, I'm kind of like doing it on low cost for now for them. Then when they see results, they say we can revisit we can review the negotiations in January. So
Okay.
for now, I'll deliver low cost. But then I think what I can do to get to my 10,000, my first 10,000, to increase on client base, and then try to convince them to sign for say a 6 month contract.
Okay.
So that they'll be paying monthly service
Okay.
charge. Yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Let me now summarize the second part of the second lesson, which is the ecosystem of products. So the idea of the ecosystem of products is that a well balanced business, a business that is doing well, offers more than one product. Here is what I mean. There should be a product that you offer total strangers. There should be a core product, and there should be a reason for clients to come back. So let me explain the purpose of each of these. So the first one usually is a free product. So there's a concept of a value ladder. So in the video about the ecosystem of product, there's actually an image of a value ladder where you are helping people to slowly ascend with you. So if you look at an example of, let's say, the Chikanda sellers, when you go to them, the first thing that they offer you is a free sample. So the first thing you offer total strangers is a free sample. Why do you do that? Because of trust issues. One of the biggest barriers to sales for a completely new client or a brand new customer is a trust. They wonder, are you trustworthy? So when you go to a person who's selling Chikanda, when they give you that sample, what they're trying to do is to break that barrier of trust by convincing you that this product is good. So after you like it, you get some more pieces. If it's somebody that you see frequently, next time you might increase your quantity. Maybe another time you might even get something much bigger you go and share with your family. So this concept applies to all kinds of products. So I was giving an example of one of my clients, a multimillionaire company client who deal in beverages. One of the first things they would always do when they launch a new product is to go and do what they used to call market bombing. Sorry, my daughter is here. Something which they used to call market bombing, meaning that they go to the markets and flood. They go to the markets and flood the markets with their product so that people can be able to taste that product, to have a taste of that product. So now if you think about things like services, so you need to think about what is this free offer that you can offer. Could it be some information? So one of my other clients offers CCTV. So we were looking at what is this free offer they can be offering. So what they do is they have a site visit. So in this site visit, what they do is they assess the client's premises before they install the CCTV. They assess the client's premises and they tell them where they think they should place the CCTV for the place to be secure. So when you think about your own business, what can this sample be? It can be information, it can be a product demo, it can be a sample, it can be a trial. Okay, so you need a freebie. Then you need the core offer. So that core offer that you're offering is something that you are known for. If you're an expert at something, maybe you're in agriculture, you say you sell day-old chicks, maybe you're into fashion, you sell clothes, or you're into stationery, something that you are known for, that's the core offer. So the importance of the core offer is to give your brand something that you are known for, like a niche. You are somebody who's known to deal in such and such a thing. Of course, I think for everyone who's here, I don't think we have anyone who's doing what is called dabbling. You do a little bit here, a little bit there. You are not known for something specific. So you need to have something specific. Then there's need for a repeat purchase offer. A repeat purchase offer is very important. The reason for this is that if you don't have a repeat purchase offer, people will buy from you once and then they are gone. Then all that effort that you put in to acquire that customer in the first place, you're not going to continue benefiting from it because you have to go back into hunting mode, looking for new clients. If you could have, actually, there's a concept called the True 1000. The concept of the True 1000 says this. Most business owners, if they had 1,000 true clients who were repeat purchasers every month, they could attain financial stability. So that is the idea of the ecosystem of products. So you need to brainstorm to say, okay, what will I offer for free? What is my core offer and what will be my repeat purchase offer? So in the video for the ecosystem of products, there were actually two other offers. One is a low ticket offer, the other one is a high ticket offer. Low ticket, if let's say you offer high-end products or services for a big amount, sometimes you need a low ticket offer to break the barrier. So let's say you're selling, let's say financial consulting, and your charges are 10,000. If people are still doubting, they might be very reluctant to pay up right there and then. So you might offer them something lower. So I gave an example of my own ecosystem of products. I said that for private consultations, most people will not start from zero to private consultation. Most people will start with reading an ebook. After they read an ebook, that helps to break that barrier of trust, which I was talking about. Then they'll come back and say, I think I need more than this. So in your own business, do you have something free? Do you have something low ticket? Then there's also the concept of high ticket. So high ticket is also important, especially for those who are into services, because you are trading time for dollars. You're trading time for money. So your time is limited. And the only way to increase how much money you are making is actually to increase the price. So you can also have a high ticket offer. You can have something that is costing much more. We're going to have something on pricing. We're going to have a lesson on pricing. But for now, it's about planning out your ecosystem of products and just asking the question, do you have something free to offer, something core to offer? And do you give people a reason to come back? Okay, so let me pause again here and ask, what do you have to offer? How many were able to identify the various parts of their ecosystem of products and which part might be missing or which part needs to be enhanced? Or is the concept clear? Or the concept of the ecosystem of products, is it clear? Um, okay, Mr. Evans, go ahead.
I found the issue of the free sample very difficult with my services business.
Okay.
Because, I mainly offer accounting, finance, and tax services. But then when you explain that it can be in a form of pricing, then I realized that I do that already. So for me, it's like all those steps that you went through affect me. I just need to do them in an organized manner.
Okay. So let me explain about businesses that are difficult to create a free offer for. So I gave the example of cars. If you are selling cars, there's no way that you're going to give a car as a free sample. That's not even economically possible. It won't make business sense. But what you can offer is a free experience of the car. So many car sellers, especially the ones who sell the brand new cars, like when you go to a showroom, they'll let you experience what it feels like to enter the car, sit in it. Some of them actually allow you to go for a test drive. So now, if you look at services such as accounting services in your case, what can you offer which can be free or low cost? So you don't always have to offer free. You can go straight into low cost. So let me just give an example of what we do in marketing consultation. You can offer what we call a free audit, or you charge a certain low amount. So in this audit, the way you think about your freebie or your low cost offer is whenever you are engaging your client, before you do the main work, there's always some kind of preliminary work. Maybe it's an assessment. Maybe it's a compliance checklist. You want to find out if they are compliant. There's certain initial discussion or initial preparation. The truth is, a lot of people don't even think they are doing this because it comes as second nature. You don't think about it, you're taking it for granted, but there's always something that you do before the main service. I remember I was doing this with someone who sells solar products. I asked him what does he offer as a free offer. He said, we don't offer anything for free. So I asked him, okay, describe to me, a client has come to you, they're looking for a solar kit. What do you do first? Then he said he thought he had to think about it. And this is what I mean. Many people do offer something for free, they just don't think about it. He said, we have to do a product demo. We have to show the client how things work. Then we have to ask them about their needs. So I told him, the free offer, the thing that you're offering for free in this case is an assessment. So even with your financial consulting, you might say, this is difficult for me to create something free, but there's already something you are usually doing. You have a certain kind of initial discussion or initial assessment. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Does.
Okay. Okay. So who else is thinking about what they can offer as a free offer? Madam Viola, you're selling day-old chicks. What is the free thing that you're offering in that case? In agriculture products.
Yes. We've got field officers. Soon after purchasing, they visit the farmers. So for us, that is for free. We don't charge.
Okay, but
That's
when
the service we offer.
okay, when someone comes to you before they buy, what do you ask for? Do you have any kind of assessment? Do you collect any information up front about what they are going to do with the chicks?
Yeah, we do. They normally, the field officers normally visit the sites to see whether the place is conducive for chicks.
Oh,
So yeah,
perfect.
we do.
So you
Mhm.
do site visits. So in your case, the
Yes,
free offer is a site visit. Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And once in a while, we offer freebies for chicks. Like you buy maybe 10 boxes and get one box for free.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
What about the other one which sometimes people have a challenge with? Emilia, please go ahead. Your mic is muted. I'm not sure whether you've unmuted yourself. We can't hear you if you're talking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
So, in my area of work, which I'm sure you know, with
Yes.
what I learned in this topic, I have actually now seen and I can now like pick which services we can actually do like freebies and which services we can actually like, big earners. Your topic is very, very eye-opening. And yeah, so I'm implementing most of the things that you have actually highlighted. Today, I was actually making up a plan on what I can do as freebies because we don't seem to have those ones in my
Mm.
line of work. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. So, one of the biggest advantages of freebies is that it helps you to increase the number of sales leads you have. So, yesterday we discussed the target number of clients that you have. That target number of clients, everyone before they become a client, first they become a sales lead. And these freebies help you to generate a high number of sales leads. So if you imagine, let's think about the lady who's selling the African polony or chikanda. Uh, Divine, do you know what chikanda is? Divine, do you know what?
Good evening.
Do you know what? Good evening. Do you know what chikanda is?
I wanted to ask thereafter. I do not know
Okay.
if you can assist me.
Is it
Yes,
what about the term African polony? Does it sound familiar?
African polony.
Mm-hmm. No.
All right. Is it a homemade polon?
So you can say that it's like vegetable based. Okay, so let me maybe use a more universal example, which is cake.
Oh,
The idea, if you the higher the number of people who would test your sample, this has been proven in all kinds of marketing. They hire the number of people that can test your sample. They hire the number of clients. That is why the idea of sampling or a freebie is so important. It helps you to generate a higher number of leads. In fact, there was an experiment that was done some years back in a certain, it was an investment advisor firm. So for them, the freebie that they put out was an article in the newspaper. So before they did this, newspapers are not print media is not cheap to advertising. So this advertising manager had to convince his new bosses he had just joined to say, if we can get a lot of people to sample our free advice, we're really going to change the business in terms of the sales. He had to convince them because they had to spend a lot just to put the freebie. So it's like, as an advisor, you put out certain advice. So the all the advisors we have here, if you are an expert at something, you are an advisor or a consultant. If you could get a small part of that, your bigger portion is like a slice of cake or a small piece of the dionko from the chikanda lady, which is basically just a sample. The more people can consume that freebie, the more people will come back to buy from you. In fact, we say that there's a predictable percentage, which is at the worst case scenario is around 3%. Worst case scenario, it can be less than 1%. The more people test or have exposure to your freebie, the more customers you're going to have. So for people who are trying to generate leads, the freebie is actually the key. So is there anyone who's struggling to generate leads, sales leads? Okay, Mr. Evans, you can.
I do, but I think it's because I don't know how to go about it.
Okay, based on this discussion, is there anything you can offer as a freebie?
Yes, I actually realized that I've been offering freebies
Uh-huh.
uh, in form of a 15-minute strategic session consultant on the call.
Exactly. So this is
So
what I was saying. Anyone who's got customers, they're already offering a freebie, but they've just never thought about it.
yes,
Okay. So now the idea is that same freebie, we just need to package it in such a way that we can easily deliver it to a lot of people. That's the idea. Okay. Okay, Madam Viola, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to maybe to share my experience with this issue of freebies. We didn't know that we were actually offering freebies. I think a year ago, where we went around different parts of the country, offering training for free for a certain breed that we're struggling to sell. So I think sometime this year we thought of discontinue that breed, but this is the time when we started getting the demand. It
Mm-hmm.
was overwhelming, and
Oh.
people we actually asking people, how did you become to know about this breed? They said, you came to us a year ago. They're actually referring to something that happened in the past, but they're now coming now, and
Mm-hmm.
we cannot meet the demand. So yeah, training is another way of offering whatever free bills. We were not charging; it was for free. The training was for free.
Okay, thank you so much for the feedback. So I'm glad you see it can take time sometimes, and this happens to me a lot. I get a lot of people who say, I have actually been following you for some time. I've been listening to your videos. So those videos I put out are also freebies. I've been listening to your videos, but I think it's really time that you come in and help me train my team. It happens. So I know it works from experience. Anybody else want to share their use of freebies, or if you need to create a freebie, if you don't have one, you must have one in one form or another. Chikondi. Is there a freebie you can offer in your business? Have you understood the concept of freebies, and is there a freebie you can offer in your business?
Yes, I have, but there's a bit of noise where I am, so
Oh, okay. So you can't.
yes, yes.
All
Yes,
right.
I can't persist.
Okay. Okay, I understand. It's fine. Okay, Emilia, you can go ahead.
So are freebies good for all types of clients that you are there, non-existing clients and existing clients, or are you just going to target them at say maybe new clients? So how do you go about your
Oh,
freebie, or are you going to just be open about it, say everyone freebies? Which one is more effective?
okay, so my opinion on that one is that for someone who's already been to your spa, they already know you, they already know your services. If they are a repeat client, it means they are very happy with what you're offering already. You don't need to offer a freebie. What you can do is to offer them a reward for coming back. Because the idea of a freebie is to motivate someone who's having doubts. They're having doubts about the quality of what you're offering, whether this is something that they that will really help them. So I would say if you're going to offer rewards to existing clients, it should be more like a bonus, not really a freebie. Okay, so the other part which is important is the repeat purchase offer. So now, if you are in certain types of businesses, they are naturally repeating. So let's say you are into food business. Somebody eats today, the next day they'll be hungry. If they liked your food, they can come back. But certain types of businesses, you have to deliberately create a repeat purchase offer. So you have to actually sit down and think about it. Let's say, like for us who are into books, I I sell books, right? If someone buys a book today, they read it, they like it, they're not going to come back for the same book again. No, no, no. It won't happen like that. So I have to sit down and say, okay, after someone consumes this, what is the next thing that I can offer them? So do we have everyone having a naturally repeating offer, or do you have to sit down and specifically give clients a reason to come back? Okay, Mr. Evans.
I have, and actually, when I engage a client, immediately I start planning to make sure that they are with me on a retainer basis.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. So certain types of businesses, they are naturally repeating. Others you have to create a reason for them to come back. Okay, so let's say you are into, I don't know what other example I can use. Let's say you are into clothes. Clothes are not easily naturally repeatable, but you have to now stay in touch with anyone who buys so that when you have maybe new stock. So this is the other part of the getting clients to come back is very important, because if you don't get clients to come back, you have to go and hunt. And I don't know if you've ever assessed this, but this has also been proven to be a fact. It's easier to sell to an existing customer than to get a brand new one. So if you already have clients who have already bought from you, you need to have a system to keep them coming back for more. And one of those systems is to make sure that you, one, have something to offer, two, you are keeping in touch with them. So like those people that they were training, the Madam Viola's team, I don't know, whenever people come for these free trainings, are you keeping their contacts and are you getting back to them? When you conduct a free training, do you collect the contact information?
Yes, we've got a register. Each time we do a training, we conduct
Okay,
a training, yeah, with a register. And sometimes we'll be sending them our flyers, yeah,
okay.
on a weekly basis. Like we've got a broadcast list
Oh, okay.
where we'll be just posting, yeah,
All right. Okay. Thank you
keep
very
them in
much.
touch.
Okay,
Mhm.
Divine, you can go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to contribute on the repeat clients. For instance, I also do dry cleaning and laundry. So we do have clients who come on a regular basis, that is either on weekly basis or on a fortnight basis. They bring their clothes and laundry for washing. So it's washing, ironing, and folding. And
Okay.
we have quite a number of clients who are repeat, that is on each and every week. We know that there is laundry clothes which are brought for washing and ironing. And though some clients subscribe for that service, some come maybe just for 1 month or 2 months, then thereafter they cease. We
Okay.
normally try to make follow-ups on those clients, but for some other reasons, the client might not have been happy maybe with the service or with the price, and we try then to fine tune our offer in order to to ensure that those clients in future are retained.
Okay, thank you. So we seem to have a very good retention. Most of the people in this group seem to have a very good client retention system. So maybe what needs more work is a lead generation system using the freebies. So we'll discuss more on different ways to create freebies, different types of freebies. So if you don't have a freebie and you need some help with that, just let me know. We can brainstorm together on the particular freebies that you can offer. Then we'll talk about, when we start talking about advertising, how you can get more people to consume the freebie, because that is the route to getting more strangers to becoming customers. Okay, so in summary, today we talked about two things. The first one is your million. So the idea of your million is to think through your business and ask, how is this a business that can help me to get to the next million? And if it is, what do I need to focus on? Is it to focus increasing on production, maybe getting machinery? Is it getting to hire more people, because you realize that if you're going to handle a certain number of clients, then you need to be able to hire people. And if your type of business requires to hire more people, you need to think about all the HR issues, such as, do you have a training mechanism to make sure they are up to date? Do you have a training, human resource maintenance? According to MJ DeMarco in that book, The Millionaire Fast Lane, he says using human beings to scale is actually one of the hardest routes, because human beings are unpredictable. So if you're in service business or consultants business, it's either you have to expand your manpower or you have to go the software direction. Software, me, I'm a fan of software, because being a techie, because software doesn't have moods, it doesn't give excuses. Human beings, you're going to have all kinds of issues. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, but you have to be aware to say, this is the direction my company can only get to the next million by expanding the manpower, and think about the process of what it would take to expand that manpower. Do you have enough funds to hire quality helpers? Because another thing that happens, especially with small businesses, if you are in the type of business that requires you to hire more people in order for you to expand, one of the challenges will be the really, really good people, they are not cheap to hire. So do you have money for that? Have you saved up? So sometimes you just think about that process. Others, what would take them to the next level in their business is machinery. So you have to now start educating yourself about how you can raise funds, whether you're going to raise equity, you're going to look for investors, or you're going to use the direction of a loan. So just think through the process of what it would take in your particular business to get to the next billion. Then we've discussed now the ecosystem of products. You must have something free to generate leads. So the free thing, it can be a consultation, it can be an audit, it can be a piece of information, it can be a sample that customers consume. It depends on the type of business. Then the other thing is a repeat purchase. So most of the people in here, we seem to already have a naturally repeating kind of business. You have retainers, which is a good thing. So maybe we just need to work more on generating more sales leads. So this is all for today. I don't know if anyone has any question, or we can wind up. Yvonne, you can go ahead.
Okay. Just your advice in terms of having a returner in place. What's the best period? A longer period or a shorter period? If you go into a returner agreement.
No, longer is better, especially if they've got good cash flow. So Mr. Evans is also into a financial consultant. So Yvonne is just venturing into this. Maybe he can answer for you because his hand is also raised. What's been your experience with the retainer clients? Is it better to do short term? What's the average good period? I think in marketing, I love 1 year contracts. They are
Okay,
better.
so
Uh-huh.
like you've answered for me. So I also had to make a decision. I usually do 1 year, but then in terms of the terms, there's a clause where I make it flexible that if I can terminate with a 1 month notice, just to make the client comfortable that they are not tied down for a long time. So I do 1 year with a possibility of renewal. And then on the other side, there's a contract that I've had myself where I've been contacted by some big organization. They gave me 3 months. And then after that 3 months elapsed, they gave me another 1 month because I had certain deliverables. And also I thought they were looking, from the perspective of me being an employee, because initially when they hired me as a consultant, they actually interviewed me for a permanent position. But I wasn't really looking for a job. I went for an interview anyway, and 7 months later, they came back with a 3 month contract.
All right.
So I do 1 year, and this organization gave me 3 months. So I could
Okay.
say 1 year. 1 year is more predictable in terms of cash flow stability.
Okay. Thank you. Does anybody else have any question or comment? Tibe, you can go ahead. Your mic is muted, Tibe. We can't hear you if you are talking. Tibe, you have your hand raised, but your mic is muted. I don't know if you're saying something. We are not able to hear you. I'm hearing like some background noise. Am I the only one who's not able to? Oh, okay. I think maybe she's having some challenges with network. It shows that she has left. Okay, so this is all for today. And so what I'm going to do is make sure if there's anyone who's having any tech challenges with access to the material, let's have a look. Let's have a look at that. Just let me know. I've had to correct some login information for others who didn't have access to the material earlier. Okay. Thank you very much for your time, and we meet again tomorrow at the same time.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Bye.
evening.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You are doing great.